I don't usually do this, but today I'm actually going to do an introduction. So, I wanted to offer my heartfelt thanks to the Tree Reading Series. It's been a stalwart supporter and promoter of not only Ottawa's literary community, but also the Canadian literary community at large. It's always treated me well. I am honored to have my work included as part of the award. And thanks to Claudia for this gorgeous chapbook, and for her speed and skill in designing this, the Electric Garden. Thanks to Stephen Brockwell, not only for picking Electric Garden, but for his brilliant poetry, which always inspires me towards clarity, honesty, resonant imagery, and compelling language. And gratitude to all the open mics, especially Tree, where these poems have been tried out, and readings and journals where they've been featured and published. And to the City of Ottawa and Ontario Arts Council for the funding as well. Electric Garden is part of a larger work called Grace, City Poems Under the Influence of Buckley, Barnes, Sisu, Jacobs, Maidal, The Seasons, Melancholy, and Gin. And I began the series in 2015 with the help of participants in a workshop I took with Rob McLennan at his home in Alta Vista. So, of course, I thank Rob and the workshop participants for that. And so today I'll be reading from several parts of Grace, Electric Garden, which is the chapbook, Lady Lazarus Redux, which I've just finished recently, First Walks of the Year, which was published by Inwards Press in 2016, Wintered, which is forthcoming from Shrieking Violet Press, and another section called Daily Graces. And there are words and phrases in italics that I can't point out to that come from various sources, so you'll have to get the chapbook to see so that I can not be convicted of plagiarism. Rhetoric. I have become a vase you can pick up or drop at will, inanimate at last, Anne Sexton, Angels of the Love Affair. I am the filthy lesson of the heart, the upstart, the stop, the red tail lights, the escaped kite, the mad woman of Chaillot, your lady of the dying flowers, the fire's ember, the last spark. I am Baudelaire's broken bell, an overused punctuation mark, a simple construct, the rhetoric you use to prove your argument against love. The paperweight. The world is blood-hot and personal, Sylvia Plath, Totem. Dread follows a siege of cravings and aversions, as if my plasma is pleading for iron, a backbone, resilience. The leaf of my temper unfurls and fiery bells of fury clang in my skull. I stumble with the weight of hot iron. I am charred, I boil, I am a danger zone. Now emotions are snow-feathered delicate. I tremble, so brittle, I splinter. This blood-rust scent of myself incites burnt ochre dreams, cars on fire, sirens wailing, the howl of nameless creatures in the dark. Gardens are luminous with flame I cannot surface. Saints cry out to me in nightmares, the sheets are stained. I press my finger against my clit. In the morning I wake with dried blood on my palm. Treat this body as a numb castle with the drawbridges up. Do not attempt to rescue the princess. She is seated at her doom, doing nervous needlework, pricking her finger. She is cursed. Thoughts shear through my mind. Dread is an icicle that stabs into calm. Ice turns to brick. This is not alchemy. It is anxiety, a muddy recognition, flat, unpercussive despair. It doesn't matter if I cross 1,000 cold rivers, hug an ice pack in my sleep, eat an ice cream cone while wandering in January with my coat open, stand naked at the window on a wintry night. The serpent of heat licks flame at my skin until I am soaked in sweat. Dear Moon, a gesture would be nice. You're always so regular. I have a calendar that tells me when you wax and wane. I envy your predictability. Bright wolf or silvery gibbous, while my uterus clenches blankly. I am not made of iron, I seethe and sob. The earth turns from day to night, and I from dark to light. My bounce against infinity is no more than an ephemeral quiver. This lust is carried on scorched winds. When I touch a pedal, it turns to ash. I stay away on purpose, internalize my fervor. I am no gallery of calm. I am a connoisseur of carnality, a heat seeker, a bomb. Certain dark things. She drags the moon from the midnight ink of its sky, hurls it across fields, and plunges it into unsounded seas, holding it down, holding it down. This intensity is fermented in the red depths of self, electric, a garden. Every rose crackles, shivers, withers after her heat has passed. She is a lover, but her love stunts growth. The napkin. If I could bleed or sleep, Sylvia Plath, Poppies in July. Sleep is a form of besiegement. It can occur at any time. I pick a sunny afternoon, lie in bed, listen to pigeons settle on the sill. Daytime sleep is illicit, honey rose. Just before my period, all I want to do is retreat to my comfortable king-size bed to chase away the anxiety of days. I have heard that menopause is a hurricane state. Is this need to sleep now an early warning signal from my body? This is not a drill. It's flint or stupor, ice or chafe, no compromise, sheen of opalescent sweat or meteoric perfection. Coherence is a piece of fruit out of reach, a lustrous ruby nectarine. I have inklings. Am I nothing but a doll covered by the snow but still burning? A paradox, a diabola? Slumber is my art, my way of concealing the churning of wheels, their spokes fluorescent with worry, lines ablaze with coal tumbling out of the ashes of a good dream onto my glacial flesh. Melancholy is a landscape of cold trees, of fiendish horses riding to their doom, ribbons of sadness plummet unrelenting, a damp squelch on the green. In the painting I am wearing a bodice of apricot embers. The black dog beside me is inevitable. Some days I crave calm, carillons of spring ring lilac. Others I want to be painted as turbulent storm. This ache overwhelms like sage, comes on like oceans, like sunsets. First a shimmer of gold, a reminder that practicality isn't an option, then a doorway into despair so black there's no way out. Good night, red, I no longer need to number the days, unstring the vermilion beads from the abacus. No one gives me iron for anniversaries. I've heard tales of my tangerine moods, a euphemism. I remove all allusions to red, plunk down my thesaurus. The choice now is between indigo and black. I roll my shoulders, press my heated hand against the nape of my damp neck, toss and turn in bed from one arm to the other until the heat turns my body to cinders. No need for electric. I am an elaborate extravagance, good for the environment, solar powered. I squirm in public, sweat pools at the base of my spine, above my lip. I am flush. I feel heavy as a queen bee, feeding on fat and waiting to mate. Be crafty, cease your corkscrew fidgets. You aren't too old to learn grace. Be a good soldier. Ignore the sting of outrage that reddens your cheeks. Tell yourself you are a fine mistress of your body. Avoid men, the dance of desire that flares inside you. Your ardor is weird at your age. Everyone tells you so. They pat your head. They treat you like a naughty pet. You revolting old lady. Cushion your lust. Don't make a fool of yourself. A tattooed 23-year-old whose name is a violent bruise against your lips arouses you. Sublimate. Fucking him would only sate you for a moment. But you want to know his body. You'd be so good for him. The best blowjob he's ever had. Cupid's a panic. He sits beside you in the crowded room, your knee against his. Should you be candid? You bite your lip until you taste copper. There's an ant crawling along my paper. Interesting. I thought first I was having like weird black flecks in front of my eyes. No. Although that happens. Perished. Self, I want you now to be violent and without history. Gwendolyn McEwen, The Thing is Violent. This bloody paradox destroyer of the petaled body, resistor to harmonies of egg and cell, if a lack, but river courses through a gush monthly of wrath, a poison of platelets, eye of temper, pinch of bitchery and trouble, stirs up a boiling ocean of highs and lows, a 2-year-old's tantrum reborn in the shredded violet, the mulch of scarlet, a mad symphony of string instruments competing with sobs, a cacophony, hysteria, inferno of the heart. Brutality of hunger. I am always too brutal, sincere, earnest, passionate, intense, lost. In a world of ideas, dehumanize, skin of burnt milk over lip of café au lait bol, ras le bol, cubes of burnt toast in the soup. Onion layers, unpeeled, light leaks through. I will make you cry, I will cry with you. I am a too far walker, the quiet shuffle of my feet as they leave no trace on the cold. Where's last week's street cleaner? Okay. Sliced hallelujahs. She is folded between scarlet, heavy-lidded and curled up, a dark ball of resentment. She conjugates medieval etymologies, stares at pigeon shadows against red curtain of bedroom window until birds fly away. Alone means all one, but she is in fragments. Each piece of her is a broken shard, the sound of one hallelujah falling. Near death and hormones, a ruined glosa. You shred the red flower your fingers are holding with your candor. The green in the speech of your mouth will rust when let loose on those who've been ignoring you. Your body is wrecked, you are afraid of death. You weep at the sight of the last yellow daisies bowing their heads and surrendering to the dirt. The enemy. Eternity bores me. I never wanted it. Sylvia Plath, years. Weird pain, number 99, pins and needles beneath both heels. They're telling me I'm no greenhorn. They fume like overheated hooks. I'm no antique either, but my parts are wearing out, tarnishing a silver heirloom. I have a different ache or discomfort each month. Now it's my lower back. Pain rises to blush heat over my body, an adversary. If you treat pain as an enemy, it'll conquer you. You resent it, you simmer. There is no cool relief. I try to welcome it like a holy season full of unknown ghosts and angels. It's 3 a.m., I'm anxious about everything. I fret over the lack of connection between friends. Why don't they respond to emails or texts? Am I wearing a bitch mask? I try to cocoon, get some writing done. My wakefulness spreads over me like octopus tendrils. I am choked. The clock is a dark sun that abandons me. The vista is a red curtain shut against the light, unblemished walls. I am beyond tired. Pigeons coo, but everything sounds like a squawk or an oil can squeaking. The grating scrapes on my nerves. Each sound blinds me. If I had $1 for every complaint. Hot as a swamp in that movie with William Hurt and Kathleen Turner, I simply give up. Abandon the thought of clothes in this squall of steamy heat. I worship the air conditioner. I vow to move to Siberia. A minute later, I am frozen. A single and stubborn fact, the change, capital C. I am a changeling. I grow my hair long and silver. I complain too much, I know, don't mock me. I need artful words to soothe my frazzled nerves. My spine turns me into a rock. I could break at any time. I am heavy. I sink below. A hermit of pain is stone, an intricate hell full of twinges and stabs that buzz and creak in my mind. All my roots are uncovered. I take ragged breaths. I drug myself. I wake up dry-mouthed in a pool of hot sweat, face forward in the drool. My head is trapped in a steel vice of hurt that won't let me go. I don't remember wanting anything as badly as the end of all movement. I anger for no reason, then I burst into tears. My patron saint is Lady Sorrow of Volatile. She cries with me. She keeps her tears in a vial of ash she wears round her neck. She will bury it beneath this theater of agonies. I am beige with fatigue. These jelly legs fail me again. As a child, I burst through impenetrable nightmares into fields of light and dandelions, leaping over broken bottles. I am now her elderly doppelganger, a crone, monstrous and mercurial in the dark. I whine and grumble. She would have given anything to have the freedom to rove, even with this unpredictable body. Better than the alternative, the price of age is to wander each era like a blind beggar in a strange village. To welcome the strangeness, to become familiar with ashes, to learn to smolder silently, to appreciate each flint of happiness that sparkles for a moment then dies. First snow, Dundonald Park. One black-haired tree slips up like a drowned woman into the hot sky. Anne Sexton, The Starry Night. It is clock-cold November after midnight. The first has fallen. Restless, I walk past leafless trees, their branches holding nothing but night. An unkindness of raven broods over the wire. Insatiable, I am ringed, an old tree, Sam Hain's bitch, this glow evocative of a summer fuck, burnt incense as offering, and a Shabbat candle dripped on nipple, drop by drop to cover in wax, lashed off by leather. Remember when pain transcended? On red days, love, that red dress year after year, Anne Sexton, menstruation at 40. I call down the angels, they spread their wings in flight. We cry and soar over the world too small to contain our agonies. I fight with my body, I am the anti-robot. I rust the air metal. I wish for alchemy to turn me to gold, not this clotted pathology of endings. Throat, axe, and knuckle bone. Do not look into the mirror, your inner child will be shattered. Her blue sea now gray, love was never her season, but you claim it. Your hair silvers, your body all curves, your desire unquenchable. Your sisters, your mothers, their dark wood, red birds, hours of blackness, all yours. Daily Grace 2. Honey, you'd better cover your ears, your testicles. I flip through the ballad of sexual dependency, sing along with the tiger lilies. I can't clap for you, I'm out of sync. I pray for escape. Fog fucks up the city. Electroshock is an option. The Dap Queen is dead, dark is the night. Your balls, my pleather, my fake velvet, your raw promises. I clash again, fool, fool, fool. The slits sing, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, baby, where did our love go? The blast, the bloom. I'm playing 10 rock songs for a storm in a teacup. I see her in the cracked full-length bedroom mirror, listening to the Stooges, moaning at midnight. She doesn't stop the thin line from bloodying her cheek. A sliver of glass leaves flecks of shine on your body, oh darling. I've added dark clouds and collecting ions, living plasma, white light. Here are the scars on my belly from harmonic steel and the wah-wah. Egan Sheila paints a portrait of Dark Bird is home. I choose lipstick for an 8-song blowjob. This is becoming an epic playlist. Blue is good for you. Alexander's in my bed taking a break from Mr. Lube. Haunted men aren't habitual texters. I lick his bullet wound. Remember when we were naked like the rain, hi-hat, snare drum into Rilke's Wildwood of Unknown? Mercury retrograde, mid-50s. The blood is in your moods. You are ignored, a shag. You cast slights into the water. You learn to practice language beneath surfaces. You are the blue-black of oceans, the depth, the near-death. Paranoid, hot-tempered, all bluster, fucking desperate, a slag, a silver-haired witch bitchery out of control. Pour potions into a glass, swirl them round, murmur incantations, throw yourself against the cold ground, cry. There's nothing you can do. Be grateful you're still alive. And you in your not-quite-old body, as it changes from maid to crone, sit by the window, drink Russian caravan tea, read other people's manuscripts. Burn nameless incense, begin to bleed out of sync. Your not-quite-old body is unwinding its springs, neck ache, sinus pain. Take Midol. Men flirt, you are generous, but resist the role of teacher. You write in red in a red journal on the red couch. You have no questions for the stars. You are here. You burn. Thank you.